Our next speaker in line is Mr. Yurii Lazaruk. He's a community builder and a growth strategist. Yurii has been helping startups and freelancers grow through the power of community, driving 10x brand growth and supporting freelancers to build $1 million businesses. He's also the founder of Sales Hero, SEO Club UA, CPC Real Talk, and Marketing Club UA. And he also hosts the Community ROI and Humans of Business podcast. Passionate about connection, collaboration, Yuri creates spaces where people can succeed together, exactly enabling the space of what community is all about. So, thank you so much for being here with us, Yuri. Excited to host you.
Super happy to talk to you, Yukta. We had an amazing podcast conversation. I still remember it, and it was you asked very good questions, and I feel like it was one of the deepest conversations I've ever had. So, and yes, now we are continuing this conversation. The funniest thing that you told so many beautiful things that I can just skip 4 slides of my presentation because it was just about me. So we can easily you can easily make it faster and like have more time for questions. So I'm fully up for it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. The stage is all yours. Have fun.
Thank you very much. And let me, as always, share my screen. That's how it works. You have to start every presentation with checking if you can see me, if you can hear me, how the things are going on, like how do you feel about today's day and all the stuff. Anyway, I hope you can see me. And hey, my name is Yuri. Yukta already told, Francisco already told, Tom. And yeah, Tom created such a big level of insights that I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's have another talk. Here we are. So Yukta told everything about me. So that's just a picture of all those communities that I'm working with or worked with. So they are both in person, online, everywhere, and definitely I love in person the most because that's exactly how you can meet people. And I remember someone told it at some point because that in person you can meet person, you can see their real height, you can shake their hand, you can hug them, you can smell them. It was so crazy, but it's stood with me. So and ever since I'm still in this community world. What you might have also heard of is the Community Life podcast that also had a little bit of an amazing award from CMX recently as a best community podcast, and it stopped, but it's all about amazing humans. And Community ROI is where you can learn more about connecting business and your community. And of course, between two water cooler meetups that we have every month. So folks from community world can go there, catch up, and meet some friends. So I also love learning different languages, playing on Duolingo. I have a lot of friends there. And yeah, I definitely know that it's not a hat, but it's a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. If you also feel that way, please go connect with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's easy, Yurii Lazaruk. I'm just the only one person there with this name, or just go to your community. So let's jump to the conversation. What will we talk about today? I will make this talk since I have like 15 minutes. It will be super fast, super straight to the point. And please ask the questions. I don't think I can see them now, but you can still add some questions in the chat. I have a public chat open. So if you are here, just ask some questions, add some value. I'm seeing it. And we'll be talking about like why communities are struggling to prove their worth, how to start with business goals, not just building community, actionable ways on how you can win and collaborate with other teams together, and how to speak to your execs or how to speak to stakeholders. So let's jump right away. Why do I care? Because I truly believe that there are business needs, there are people needs, and somewhere in the middle, the magic happens. And as Rosie Sherry created this beautiful picture, also community lies at the heart of every company and every organization. And it's just a glue that keeps all those teams together and also connects all the teams with all the customers. So it's beautiful, it's everything, but you definitely know that. Let's talk about why communities struggle to prove their worth. Because there is no clear connection to business goals. If you are working with a community around a product or around a service, or you are building community as a business, how can you build a community if you have no idea what are business goals and there is no connection? Because community team, as every team, has to be connected to business goals. Can you imagine sales not connected to business goals? I can't. pretty much community is also part of the team, and we have to play the same on the same field. We have to be a great team player. So it's important. Also, engagement is not enough. It's a buzzword, like you can have engagement, you can have people talking about like how their day going on, like sharing all this coffee macchiatos and all this stuff. But it's okay if it's a community about coffee. But if not, I don't know if it's really moves the needle and brings a lot of value. Sometimes, yes, it creates stronger relationships, but I don't know for sure if it really is. And also, communities often live in a silo. So when you are working in a community, if you are not speaking to other teams, if you are not talking to your executives, to your stakeholders, to founders, to CEOs, they have no idea what the hell is going on. They might look like, oh my God, this crazy things is happening, but it's not just what they see. I recently had a podcast conversation with Drew Ponticus, and he told that we hosted an event where we were just playing video games, and our executive came like, what the hell is going on here? Why you are not building business? And he was like, yeah, we just creating this connections relationship, so we need to talk a lot about it. So what happens? Business burns money, community managers get burned because burned out, because business have no idea what's happening, and community managers just don't know how to justify and explain their work. So when you are creating a community, build a community, build business outcomes. So community isn't really the goal itself. Like 3 years ago, I thought that if you are building community for business, it's just will be okay if you are connecting people with each other, if you are just making them feel good. But it doesn't work that way. Yes, they have to feel good, but they also have to bring something that that moves your business forward. So in our case, if we're talking about business, community is the method. I'm not saying that you have to use your community members, but you have to use your community members. I mean, like in a good way. It has to be a mutual win-win conversation, and it can work like that. So secondly, you have to reverse engineer from business priorities. So when you see business goals, when you know them. So I'm having this part joke that community must be the, sorry, someone just called me and my dogs are fucking freaking out there, and I just lost my train of thoughts. So you have to know what's happening in your company. You have to know what's happening in your organization, in your business, because if you don't know that, you won't be able to build a good community. If you know that, you will be, and it will be an amazing community. And also, you have to remember how can humans, how our clients can help us hit the goal. How can we all together work on creating the best experience for community members and for business, or even start with business, because usually community builders are starting with community members, but you won't be able to miss them. You will definitely go for them. You are the person who is working with other humans, so you have a lot of empathy and listening and stuff. Community members won't be hurt at all, but still business can be hurt. So remember about it. Then, to understand the business goals, the business priorities, you have to go to the source. And your source is leadership. You have to go to them. You have to go to your stakeholders. You have to go to other different team leaders, sales teams, marketing, support, product, etc. You have to meet them, and you have to ask. If you're asking your CEO or founder, what's the number one business goal this quarter? What are the metrics that you care most about? And you still do the same thing with other teams. You still do the same with other team leaders. When you do that, you will have a lot of understanding of what's happening, of what's going on in your company. And as you are a community builder, you have to also understand the business. If you don't understand the business, it will be hard for you. So go to teams and ask them, what would make your job easier? What is something that you are having on your plate right now? And do not propose them solutions right away. Just go and ask them, just be curious. It will give you a lot of information to consume, a lot of information to digest, exactly as a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. And when you digest this elephant, you will understand how to move forward, how to build a better community around the business you are building or the company you are working in. Secondly, you need to create a goal map. When you understand what are the goals, what you are doing, what you are working on, you need to do next. Let's imagine you have a business goal to improve retention, and your success team told that they need to have a better onboarding and better support of customers. How do you do that? You have no idea. But yes, you can do that. You can go and help with onboarding. You can onboard community members in a way that it will be in line with success team goal. You can make this peer support. You can create use cases for the product you're working or for the service you are delivering on anything around that. You can do it in this way that it won't feel that you do community work. Yes, you will still do a lot of community work, but also it will feel like you are being a team player, that you are helping your success team to move forward. And by doing that, you are helping to reach the business goal, to improve the retention. When you are having this map, it will be so much easier to navigate everything that's going on afterwards. And when I'm talking about the goal map, and in this case, it's success team, you can also go to your sales team, you can go to your marketing team, you can go to product team, you can even go to HR team and talk to them. The more you talk, the more you understand what's going on in different teams, the easier it will be for you to come up with the solutions that will fit them. So, as I've said, you have to co create, you have to co build, you have to do things together with other teams. So, what are the best ways? Go to team leaders and ask them, what KPIs are you chasing? What are the challenges you are facing? What are some blockers that prevents you from moving forward with your goal? And won't most likely they won't tell you right away about what's going on. Most likely you will have to be really curious. You will have to ask a lot of questions, a lot of follow-up questions, because with when you are coming with just one question, like, where are your blockers, what are KPIs are you chasing, you're just giving more homework to team leaders. They have a lot on their plates, and by asking extra questions you are not being helpful, you are like adding extra work. But by being curious and by having this conversation in a way that you don't have to think about the work you can give to me, but let me try to understand and go and help you. When you understand this, when you have those conversations, it will take you some time. But when you have those conversations, you can co-design a small experiment. And by saying co-design, I'm not saying that you have to include other teams and not move without them. What I mean co-design is that you are preparing an experiment, you are pitching this experiment to other teams, and you are delivering this experiment while also being in line with other teams. Because usually, once again, coming back, the teams have a lot on their plates, and if they become a blocker for you, if you cannot play with this experiment with on your own without them, it will be hard. It will be hard for you to not move forward. But if you can do something yourself with the community, with help of community, and then like go and show the results to other teams, and also specifically let them shine. Sometimes you don't have to defend your community results. Sometimes you can just help and promote other teams. When you let them shine, when you share the results with stakeholders, when you talk to other teams and those teams are talking for you, that's exactly what it means. You might not have all the benefits of reaching the goal of conducting an experiment, but you will have a good mark in other teams, and the more you help them, the more you can collaborate together in the future. And just a few examples of what you can do. For example, support, they need to lower ticket volume, so you can create help hubs, FAQs, tutorials, peer answers. If we are talking about a product, of course they need to understand what to build next, so you can create beta groups. You can ask people about the features, you can ask them about the feature ideas, like what works, what doesn't. You can always find a way to help product. Marketing, easy, user generated content. Marketing always needs a content, always needs something to move forward, and you can do this with community. Yeah, the more they share the stories, you can even create podcasts, you can do interviews, you can do whatever you want, whatever you like. And the more content you create, the better it will be for marketing team, of course. And for sales, I have a lot of different conversations with people, and like sales their favorite team because sales wants to sell something, and when the salesperson joins the community, the first thing they do, they're trying to sell something. I mean, like good sales know what community is, and good sales people are really really amazing, but you never know who are you working with. And for sales needs leads, of course they need leads. They can't go without it. So you can help them. You can talk about referrals. You can create some live demos. You can do office hours about around the product or the service that you are creating. You can share with them some signals. You know your members. You know who is where on their product journey, on their client's journey, and you can just give some tips, some signals to your sales team, and they can work afterwards on the task. So every time I talk to amazing humans and the community ROI podcast, I'm asking like, how do you share the story? How do you share the benefits of the community? And people always talk about data and storytelling. So when you have your data and you just throw the data on people, like we had X amount of people join the community, we have X amount of posts, we can blah blah blah, they have no idea what's going on. But when you translate engagement into saved revenue, saved time, into how many leads you created, how many tickets reduced, first of all, it's so much easier for stakeholders to consume. And secondly, when you are having this storytelling thing, you are sharing human part also, because community is not just data. You have a lot of sentiments, you have a lot of feedback that people are saying about how they like the community, how it helped them, and you are the only person who sees that. I mean, from your team, because other people are definitely seeing. So when you combine the data, combine the metric with member quotes, you are creating a story that goes right to their mind with data and right to their heart with human touch. And remember to talk about it. This happened because of our community. The more you keep scrolling, the more you keep reusing this phrase, the more it went to people minds, to executive minds, to CEOs, to other teams, that engagement, metrics, community. So all the great results that other teams are sharing, all those experiences that you make, it's happening because of community, and people have to know about this. And remember, and it's totally okay, you won't always have your seat at the table. Not yet, at least not yet. At some companies, yes. At others, not yet. So I know it's hard, but you have to support other teams before asking for support. Give value first. That's something that I'm talking a lot about in freelancing world. So if you want to get clients, help them first. I mean, not doing all the job for them, but give them some value. And if you are given some value first, not just adding extra work to someone's plates, they are coming back for you and they are working with you. And they're happy to do that. When the people see the impact of what's going on, at some point, everyone wants you. Everyone wants a community on their team. When they see success, sales wants them, marketing wants them, product wants them, everyone wants them. So at this moment, you are moving from nice to have to can't deliver without, from nice to have to can't live without. And it will take you some time, but if you're doing things right, it will happen very, very soon. So I know that we are kind of running out of time. So TLDR, start with business goals. Remember, business goals first. Do not build community and then try to add business to it. Start with business goals and build a community around the business goals. Align with your teams. Go talk to team leaders, go talk to team members, understand what they are working on, what they are creating, and align with their KPIs. Build in community KPIs, connect them to other team KPIs. When I was working with a recent platform for freelancers, all my OKRs, all my KPIs were connected to product team, to marketing team, to sales team, and it was just a little bit small part of community team. So when you do that, it will be so much easier for the whole company to work together, because community is a horizontal organization. It's not just one standout team. It's a glue for all other teams. When you are using data, remember to use emotions, because data is understandable better with stories. When you connect data and storytelling, you are winning. And yeah, remember, just remember it. You won't always have the place at the table. It's totally good. Then you can earn it, and then you can expect the impact. just deal with it. And yeah, remember that consistency beats motivation. So just keep doing, keep trying, keep testing. And sometimes you will have bad days, but it doesn't mean that you have to be sad or burned out. Stay positive. And about useful materials, one I started this community ROI podcast because I was thinking, what on earth is happening that not that much information about ROI is available out there? And there is. People are writing posts, people are talking on some conferences, but I created community ROI specifically to talk just about connecting community goals with business goals. So I would say it's the best source. If you want to understand your business, if you want to understand how it works, go to community ROI. And yeah, thank you a ton for being here with me and spending this time with me. I'm super happy that you are here. I saw Serena, I saw Akash, I saw Tom, I saw many, many amazing humans in the chat. And yeah, see you all in the community world. So now I hope we have some time for cookies, I mean questions. So Yukta, just lead.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Yuri. First of all, that was such an enlightening session. So many things to actually deep dive. I mean, you've given your best to concise as much as you could within these 15 to 20 minutes. And I even have some questions from my own end. So, to begin with, as you talked about, it's important for businesses to actually write the goals and then align the communities. So, how would you recommend the entire goal alignment process should look like? I mean, should you actually be on the higher end that, hey, the community immediately should start, like, it should start generating this kind of revenue, or it should be on the lower end of it? How do you actually start with that process?
And lower end, what do you mean by saying lower end?
Like, not immediately talking about revenue. So, how do you actually build those business goals aligning with the community?
Most likely you won't have a lot of revenue right away, and that's a problem that I'm facing a lot myself. And I talk to a lot of community members that it's hard to prove business value immediately. So you need to build up. So when I was talking about connecting to business goals, if you understand where your business is moving, if you understand what are on their plate and how exactly they make money, you can reverse engineer and understand what to start doing to help it grow. Because if you think about expenses side, community is only expenses. Community manager role is expenses. Platforms is expenses. Some meetups or swag or whatever is just expenses. So think about how can you go to really making money. And usually it will be hard for you to do it on your own, but you can help your marketing team to make money, you can help your sales team to make money. So when you tie your goals to other team goals, at some point you can say, hey, by the way, sales team made like 100,000 sales this month, and because of community 20,000 of that were happened because of community. And remember, to do that, it's one thing that people are forgetting, and sometimes I'm fighting with my clients around it a lot. That to do that, you have to clearly have a field in your CRM whether the person is community member or not, because the easiest way to understand to calculate the community impact is just to compare the same usual OKR, the same usual results for people who are in the community, people who are not in the community. You will already see a starting point to talk about the business value of community.
Wow, that's actually comprehensive. Is because when you actually evaluate these areas, you would get a deeper understanding of what's working, what's not working. Plus, you get chances to experiment here and there. And based on the experiments, you get your own hypothesis that you can share with your community, which helps them build more successful community aligned businesses.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about stories. It's all about being vocal. It's all about understanding other humans. And there is this thing that if you are building internal community professionally, okay, but if you are working with external community of customers, still remember that you are building internal community too. So you have just extra work. And if you build internal community, it will help you to deal with external.
So how do you manage the internal and external communities? Let's say, like you have a SaaS product, so it's a customer-centric community, but at the same point in time, another community requires internal management. So how do you manage both these aspects, ensuring the retention in of the external community?
How do we manage? I don't really like the word manage, and even if we are talking about the community managers, I'm always referring to community builders, um, because I would say it's a bigger conversation, and we can have a totally different presentation about like doing this stuff. Um, but I will just come back to being curious. So when you are so first of all, you have to be curious. Secondly, you have to build systems. um, when you see that something is happening on a continuous in a continuous way, build a process, start tracking some numbers already. And when you try some things in the community, when you try events or Q&As or ask me anything or whatever, or you create a podcast episode, try to see what influences how the different metrics. It will help you to build a system, and it will help you to understand like what is the best way to move forward. And yeah, at some point it will be just easier.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this. And like, just one last question would be: all the methods that you've mentioned, podcasts, doing Q&As, doing different events. What do you think is like what someone who's just starting into community building and is I'd say just beginning to experience all the different areas, what are the things that they should like start with, and these are like the non-negotiables, and then they can try all the other things that you recommended? Like, what are the three things that they should absolutely start with, which become the non-negotiable in the beginning?
Do you mean as a community builder to bring some fire in the community
Yeah,
in a
right.
good way?
In a
Yeah.
good way.
So okay, so there are two ways. So first way, that you can start as a new community builder, or you can start as a senior community builder, for example, as a senior community builder with a new community. So there are different approaches. Once again, if you're a senior, you know what to do. But if you are new and you are starting a new community, you have to get to know your community members. You have to talk to them. You have to what can really help you even before people are joining the community is to create some kind of incoming survey. So when people are joining the communities, they answer like three, four, five. By the way, it's Tom. Tom talks a lot about it. And I feel like I read it in Tom's newsletter, that you have to create this survey before people are joining the community, and in this way you can already understand a little bit of information about them and get a little closer to them. The more you get data, so create a database around your community members, so you understand who is interested in what, who is on what level, and who you can connect with whom. So, and secondly, you can go with just beginning meetup friend working events. It will be the easiest way. It's something that I'm doing at between two water coolers. So yeah, uh, but
Got it.
I can tell you this question is much more complex. So
Deeper, yeah.
if you still have questions, please connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have some free messages, just tell me, hey Yurii from Loop event, or just go to your community and see a lot of resources. So
Thank you so
let's
much, Yuri,
continue
for
this
this
conversation.
session. Yeah, we'd love to. I mean, we're short in time. Sorry to cut this off. And thank you so much for the session. Please use the link and scan the QR code to connect with Yuri on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for an absolutely amazing session, Yuri. It was a
See
pleasure
you in the
hosting you.
community world.